So by the end of this video, we are going to upload the user image. We are going to select an image from our gallery, as well as we are going to upload it in our storage, and we are going to update the path of our image to in the Firestore database. Okay, so it will look like this. Will get the photo URL, as well as we will store the image in our storage. So let's get started. Okay, so in this video we are going to make our image options. Okay, so where in most of the apps we are given an option to set up our image. Okay, so we can do that, and to do that we will make another screen in here, and let's just make it a part of our auth, because it's related to auth. All we can do is that we can make another file over here and set it as image setup. Okay, so it will be a dot file, and what we are going to do is we are going to use a stateful widget over here and set it as image setup. Okay, and we are going to need material package for it. Okay, so to set up our images in our application, we want to use an image picker. Okay, so we are going to get the image picker from our pub.dev, and I've just copied this and make that in my pubspec.yam file. Okay, I've started my app with this, and I've got that dependency. So let me just close it, and we are going to make a screen that we can use to let me just remove all this code. Okay, so what we want is that we want to make a screen that the user can use to set up his image. Okay, so let's get started. So I will use a scaffold over here, and the scaffold will have a body, as well as I'll give it an app bar. And let me just give it a app bar, and it will contain the title as text, and in the text I want to set it as image setup. Okay, the next thing I want over here in the body is that I want to use a column. Okay, the column will have different children's. Okay, so the first thing I want over here is that I want to use a circular avatar. So I want to make children's. So the first children I want over here is that I want to use a circular avatar. Okay, and the circular avatar will contain a background image. Okay, so here we want to use a network image. Okay, so we want an image provider basically. So what we can do is that initially we want to show an icon of a person. Okay, so let me just get that and put it in my assets. So I'm going to make a folder over here as assets. Okay, and in our pubspec.yam file I'm going to uncomment this code, and okay, so I want to use all the assets. Okay, so this means that I can access all the assets. I'm not specifying a specific image or audio. I'm just getting all the files. I'm allowing all the files that are in the assets folder that can be used. Okay, so I'm just going to get it, and from the internet I'm going to fetch an image, and I'm going to copy it over here and then use it in place of my avatar. Okay, so I've copied my image in my assets, and this is the image, the default image that I'm going to use as of now. Okay, so the first thing I want over here is that I want to use an asset image. So an asset image is a provider that we can use. Okay, so this is an asset image, and we are going to do is that, okay, let's just wait and do this in another way. So in our storage methods, if you in our previous video we use a uint8 list. Okay, so we want to get a uint8 list file from our user. Okay, so to get that, I will make an instance of a image uint8 list. Okay, uint8 list. Okay, and that will be our image. Okay, and it will be null as of now. In the start it will be null. Okay, and what I want to do is that I want to let me just import it. It's having some issues, so let me just get that. Okay, so the next thing I want over here is that I want to use a circular avatar to show an image. Okay, but the problem is that if the user has no image and he hasn't selected an image yet, we want to show an asset image, the default image in the place of the actual image that the user is going to select. Okay, so to do that, what we want to do is that we want to check that if the asset image is null or not. Okay, so, sorry, the image is null or not. If it's null, what we are going to do is that we are going to use a circular avatar with the background image, asset image. Else, what we want to do is that we want to use the memory image, and we will use this image to load the image in there. Okay, so what we are going to do over here is that we want to use a circular avatar, and we are going to check. Okay, so what we are going to do is that we are going to set the path of our image. So the path will be assets, and it will be assets slash default image dot png. Okay, and I want to give the radius to this as well. So let me just give the radius as let's say 65. Yeah, it will be fine. So what we want to do is that we want to check that if the image is equals to null, or we can do is that, okay, let's just keep it as this. And if it's null, what we want to do is we want to show a circular avatar with the default image. Else, what we want to do is that we want to use the circular avatar with the memory provider as memory image. Or the next thing we can do, or another way we can do that, or we can achieve that, is that we can use the circular avatar and we can check in the image provider that if the image is null, we want to use the asset image, or if it's not null, so what we want to do is that we want to use a memory image, and I will give an image over here. Okay, it takes an uint8 list. Okay, so what's the error over here? Okay, so we want to give it as we are going to use as image provider. We are going to make it as image provider. Okay, so what it said that it's, let's just use a null check operator. Okay, so this is clear. Okay, so the next thing we want is that we want to pick an image whenever the user selects it, whenever the user presses on a button or anything else. So what we want to do is that I'll give a text button over here and make it as I will give a child, it will be a text, and I'm going to give it as select image. Okay, select image. And the next thing I want over here is that I want to use an on press. Okay, and in the on press I'm going to give a function. Okay, I'll make a method to open our gallery and get the images. But as of now, let me just okay, so let's just leave it. And the next thing I want to do is that I want to make a method to get the images from our gallery. Okay, so we want to use void pick image. Okay, so it will be an asynchronous function because fetching the image from our gallery or from our storage can be a time consuming process. So what we want to do is we want to okay, so we are going to use byte data and convert we will make an instance of byte data, and we will use await root bundle dot load, and we are going to use same path. Okay, so the reason for this is that if the user doesn't select any image, what you want to do is that we want to upload a default image in that place. Okay, so or we can do is that we can just leave the place. Okay, and we are just going to when fetching the images from our database, we are going to check that if the path of the image is null, then we can do is that we want to show a default image. Okay, so what we are going to do here is that we want to use a final uint8 list. Okay, and we are going to make a temp image. Okay, and we are going to use the pick image. Okay, so we are going to use the pick image. So let me just get an image, and to get the image from our phone, we are going to make another function that this is a bit easy to manage our code. So we are going to make a function as void get image, and the get image will take an image source. Okay, so we want to give our image picker an image source, so we are going to give it an image source, and we are going to make it as source. Okay, and this function will be an async function. Okay, so what we want to do is that we want to use a final image picker. The dependency, the package that we added in our pubspec.jam. Okay, so we are going to make it as picker is equals to image picker. We want to make an instance of that image picker. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is that we want to make a file. Okay, so it will be an x file. X file can be null. Okay, because if the user opens the gallery but doesn't select a file, the value of that can be null. Okay, so we want to use await picker dot pick image. Okay, so here we are going to give the source that we have got from the user. Okay, and what I would like to do is that I want to reduce the quality of our image so that it takes less space in our storage. So what we are going to do is that we have just reduced the quality to 85. Okay, and the next thing I want over here is that I want to this function will not be void function because it has to return the x file. So if we are going to check that if x file does not equals to null, okay, what we want to do is that we want to return this file to our function that has called it. Okay, so we are going to return await, and we are going to use x file dot read as bytes. Okay, so this function will read the image and then convert it into bytes and then send the data to our pick image method. Okay, so in the pick image method we are going to set it as await, and the wait we are going to get image, and the image source will be image source dot gallery. Okay, so what we have done is that we have specified that we want to get the image from our gallery. Okay, so then we are going to set the state. So in the set state, we are going to use image is equals to endless temp image. We have made the variable as temp image. Okay, so the next thing I want over here is that I want to show a floating bar or flash bar. So we are going to use the same method that we have created in our constants. So I have given the constant context. The next thing I want over here is that I want to create a top message. So we are going to say uploading, and in the bottom we want to say that please wait. Okay, and we are also going to set the image URL. So the image URL will be used to store the URL of our image in the user's location. That means that in our Firestore we want to set in our Firebase console in the field of the profile we want to set a URL for that specified user. Okay, so what we want to do over here is that first of all we are going to upload an image in our storage, then we are going to get the URL of that image and store it in our photo URL. Okay, so to do that we are going to make another variable, and this variable will be string image URL. So let's just say it's null as of now, and we are going to do is that image URL is equals to wait, and we are going to use storage methods. In the previous video we have created a function to upload our image to our storage, so we are going to use that function, and we have just created upload image to storage, and we are going to give this image file image, and we want to specify that where we want to store our profile our images. Okay, so in the method we have created a Firebase reference, Firebase storage reference, and we have given the child profile. So our files will be stored in our profile directory. Okay, so it will create a directory and it will store them in that file. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is that I want to show another flash bar. When it's done, I want to say it as success, and I'm going to show that image uploaded successfully. Okay, so this is done. So the next thing I want over here is that I want to use the image URL and upload it in our database. So I'm going to call this pick image over here, and yeah, so it will get the instance from our, it will open our gallery and let us choose an image. Okay, so the next thing I want over here is that I want to upload the URL of my image to the database, to the Firestore. So to achieve that, I have created this function, and what we will do is that it will take the URL from the user or from the method that this will return. Okay, this method will return the URL of our image, and we are going to use that URL and upload it to our profile in our Firestore database. Okay, so we are going to set the photo URL, or basically we will be updating the photo URL to the URL. Okay, so this is done, and in our sign up screen or in the image setup we want to move to the next screen. Okay, so what I've done over here is that I have created the text button that uses a select image. It shows a pick image, and in the elevated button what I want to do is that I want to move to the next screen. Okay, so what will it do is that it will use the storage methods dot image to add image to Firestore, it will use this method and upload the image URL, and then it will move us to the home screen. Okay, so this is done, and in the sign up screen what we want to do is that we want to change one thing, that in our sign up method we are moving our user from the when the user has done signing up, we move him to the home screen. So what we want to do over here is that we want him to move to the image setup. Okay, so we are going to restart our app, and yeah, it's working fine. So what we want to do over here is that we are going to, in the sign up screen, we are going to create a user. So let's say user 5, and I've created some users, so I will have to use the user 5. Okay, and I'm going to make it as gmail.com. okay, and the password will be the same. Let me just rename it. Okay, signing up. Okay, so successfully signed up. So it's showing a button to select an image, as well as it's showing us a button to continue. Okay, so in our image setup we are going to center this up. Okay, because it looks a bit ugly, so we are going to center this up. Okay, so we have centered it, and we are going to change it as main axis alignment, and we are going to set it as main axis alignment dot space between. Let's see if it looks a bit good. No, it doesn't look good. So space around. Okay, so the space around makes it a bit more good, but I don't want that, because I want the select image button to be below that circular avatar. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to wrap them in our column, so it will work fine. Okay, so yeah, it's working fine. So the next thing I want to do is that I want to select an image. Okay, so it's opening my gallery. I can go to the gallery from here or whatever I want. So I'm just going to select an image from here. I've uploaded the images from I've downloaded these images from the internet. Okay, so I'm going to select a specific image and uploading. Please wait. Okay, so what it has is that Firebase Storage. Okay, so I have faced this issue before sometimes, that I get an error when I'm using the Firestore database, the storage, and sometimes I get this issue. Okay, so it has created a profile, and yeah, it's showing the image in this. So I've just uploaded this image, and the next thing I want over here is that in the Firestore database I want it to update the photo URL of our user. So I'm going to get user 5, and okay, so it didn't. Okay, so I want to update the URL when I have pressed the button continue. Okay, so let me just press continue in my app, and this is the home screen. Okay, so let me just check it. Okay, it hasn't uploaded it till now. There might be some error in here. Okay, let's just wait for it, because sometimes it may take some time to upload. Let's just wait. Okay, so it took some time, and now I've got this photo URL. So let's just copy this and paste it in our browser and check that to what it leads. Okay, so this opens this image. It means that our upload was successful, and we have also updated the path of our photo URL in our users field. Okay.